The film begins in year 1943. Here we see a young woman named Mahua. She's about to get married and her mother is getting her ready. The next day, she's getting married to a friend of Mahua's. Both arrive ready and appear very happy. Their wedding has just begun when Mahua looks back and her condition worsens. What happened to her? This is the story of this movie, which we'll explore further. From here, the scene shifts several years ahead where we see a young woman named Tasya about to get engaged, and her friend is getting her ready. Her other friend, a photographer, arrives and begins taking pictures. Shortly after, her fiancé, Selim, arrives and upon seeing her exclaims, "Wow, you look so beautiful." They return downstairs where they perform the rituals and perform the engagement ceremony. Everyone is overjoyed. Selim thanks his stepmom and dad for raising him as a foster parent, as his biological parents had passed away. Later, while they were eating dinner, Tasya saw an old woman, startled by her appearance. The next moment, the old woman vanishes. Sometime later, Tasya dreams of an old mansion where she sees a decomposing corpse. A butterfly emerges from it. When Tasya regains consciousness, she finds herself sitting in a hotel. Selim asks her where she was lost. She recounts her dream. "I saw an old house where I saw a woman's corpse." Selim immediately replies, "Oh, I remember when our engagement was going on, my aunt called me, but I didn't answer her call. My aunt is the only one I have a blood relation with." Selim goes to the bathroom where he receives a call. He's told that his aunt has died. He's shocked, but then, to his surprise, he discovers that his aunt is calling him. When he picks up, his aunt says something in a voice that frightens him and he hangs up. He then goes to Tasya and tells her about it. He says, "I have to go to my old house. After my aunt's death, that house is now mine and I had to go there and perform my aunt's funeral. That is, bury them." Tasya asks him, "How can I handle the pre-wedding photo shoot alone?" He says, "I'll talk to my photographer friend who will take the photos and videos alone." Selim's nose starts bleeding. This makes them both uneasy, but she gives him a tissue to clean it up. The next day, Selim leaves to go there and Tasya is talking to him on the phone. The photographer and another friend of Selim's are also sitting there. Selim explains to her how to do the photo shoot. Hearing this, the photographer feels very sorry for Tasya, so he puts his hand on hers and comforts her. He says, "Don't worry, I'm here with you. I'll take care of you." When Selim's other friend sees this, he is both disgusted and shocked by his actions here. We learn that Selim's photographer friend likes Tasya. Meanwhile, Selim goes to his old house where he performs a ritual. He lights incense sticks and places them in front of photographs of his ancestor. The deceased members of his family. Tasya, again, has a dream where she is in the same house where Selim had visited. Suddenly, the door of the house opens, and when she enters, she sees Selim's body inside the coffin. Seeing this, she screams loudly, and her eyes snap open. She immediately calls Selim, who isn't answering her call. Then she sees that Selim has sent her his location. Seeing this, she realizes she must go there as she is deeply worried about Selim. She immediately books a car and arrives. When she enters the house, she is astonished to see it was the same house she saw in her dream. She goes deeper and searches for Selim, but he is nowhere to be found. But she finds photographs of all of Selim's forefathers. Just then, Selim emerges from a room and embraces her, and she tells him how she saw the dream. Hearing this, Selim says, "If you're having such dreams, we'll pray for them in front of my forefathers and ask them to help you. Don't bother." At night, we see Mahua's spirit in the house, wearing a wedding dress and a photo of her. Then, the candles suddenly go out on their own, and we learn that this was actually Mahua's house, where she was married. But then, the poor woman died. Selim shows Mahua's a photo, telling her, "This was my great-grandmother. But something terrible happened on their wedding day, which led to the death of my poor great-grandmother." We see Mahua's spirit secretly watching them. The next day, Selim's friend, the photographer, and Tasya's friend also come here because Selim and Tasya had decided to get married here. When they arrive, they are overjoyed to see the spacious house. An uncle also comes there, who gives Selim many things to appease him. He also says, "I don't live far away, and if you need anything, please remember me." After this, everyone returns to their rooms and settles in. When Selim goes to talk to his friend, blood falls on him from the ceiling, but when he regains consciousness, he realizes it's not blood but water. Meanwhile, Tasya's friend is trying to convince him that he should forget about his dream, because he's getting married, so he should smile a little. Tasya smiles at this, feeling like she's ruining her mood by thinking about it. Then, her friend goes outside, where she looks at photos of Selim's forefathers. She takes a photo of Mahua on her phone and shows it to everyone, saying, "Look, her dress is so beautiful." Selim tells them that this is his great-grandmother, whose name was Mahua, and she was a great singer. They put on her cassette and are overjoyed to hear her song, as they really liked it. But Tasya feels strange because she heard the same song in her dream. While Tasya was working in the kitchen that night, a photographer came to meet her and asked her, "What did you see in Selim that made you marry him?" Tasya told him, "I love Selim very much and he does." The photographer said, "But he probably doesn't love you as much as I do. That's why I'm saying there's still a chance. Come with me, we'll get married, I'll make you very happy." But she refused. Just then, the photographer noticed a door. He asked, "What's that door?" Tasya replied, "Selim's forefathers are buried behind this door." Tasya went into her room and began checking the fit of her dress. But then she saw something in the mirror. The light suddenly went out. This frightened her a little, and she turned on flashlight, began searching for Selim. But then she entered a strange room, where she saw the ghost of Mahua, terrifying her. But then suddenly she disappears. The next moment, Mahua appears before her again, very close, causing Tasya to close her eyes. When she opens them, Selim is there overjoyed to see her and embraces him. She tells Selim everything she saw, describing how she sees Mahua's spirit there. Selim then explains that Mahua's soul hasn't yet found the peace one gets after death, as she died shortly after her wedding, and that Mahua's body itself is a mystery. It was a mystery, as no one has ever found her body. Therefore, she feels that her soul is still wandering. Hearing this, Tasya says that whatever is happening here is and will always be with her, and that together, we will defeat the curse of this family. Selim tells her that his aunt had incense sticks in her yard that she used to light, but after her death, those incense sticks couldn't be lit. Perhaps this is why her spirit is wandering here. The next morning, her friend is getting Tasya ready, and Selim also takes a liking to Tasya. When her friend opens the drawer, she finds a butterfly clip, which she is delighted to see, and keeps. After this, they all go to the graves of Selim, forefathers, and light incense sticks so that the souls of those wandering there may find peace. Her friend puts the butterfly clip in Tasya's hair, then the photographer starts taking pictures of them both. Every time the camera flashes, Tasya begins to see strange visions of the past that frighten her so much that she faints on the spot. Selim picks her up and leaves her in the room so she can rest. But then his nose starts bleeding and he leaves without showing anyone. While Selim's friend is looking at the photo, he sees a forefather behind Tasya who is none other than Mahua. He is astonished to see this and shows it to the photographer. This makes them both understand that there is a spirit there. When Tasya regains consciousness, she looks out the window. Selim's friend is telling Tasya's friend, "We've seen a ghost in the photo, so let's get out of here before something happens." But Tasya's friend tells her, "I'm not going anywhere because Tasya is my friend and I can't leave her." When Tasya emerges, she again sees Mahua's spirit who takes her into a room. When Tasya arrives, she suddenly hears singing coming from inside a wall. So she calls Selim and asks him to break it down. When Selim breaks down the wall, he finds another room inside that secret room. They find Mahua's corpse, a butterfly emerging from her mouth. Seeing this, they are all astonished and wonder what her body is doing there. Their friend shows them the same picture and says that it's Mahua, whose spirit is wandering here. They must quickly free her so that her spirit doesn't continue to wander here. He said, "I'm feeling very scared here. You do this, because I don't want Majid to stay here anymore." With this, he quickly leaves. Tasya then lights incense sticks in front of the forefathers, but suddenly, Mahua's corpse appears beside her. She is terrified and screams loudly, hearing her voice. Her friend comes over and is shocked to see her in such a state, as it was the next morning, and Tasya had arrived in her sleepwalking state. After this, they dig up Mahua's grave and place her body inside her coffin. In a way, they had absolved her by burying her so that her soul would find peace and not wander. Sometime later, Tasya's friend returned from her bath and found all the flowers in the house blooming. This astonished her. She wondered how the flowers had bloomed in just 1 hour. Then, she heard singing, and when she entered her room, she saw Tasya singing there. She called out to her, but Tasya was not listening at all. This led her to understand that Mahua had possessed Tasya. That is, she had entered her body and had Tasya under her control. Seeing this, she immediately went to the man who had told her to come to him whenever she needed help. This man was actually a priest. Tasya's friend told him that he had heard a lot about this old mansion. The sound of someone singing is often heard from their. When she explains everything, he agrees to help them. Meanwhile, when Tasya regains consciousness, the photographer comes to her again. He tells her to leave Selim because there is a curse in his family, but she replies, "I love Selim very much, and no matter what happens, I can't leave him. If Selim dies because of this, I'll kill myself." Selim, standing by the window, listens to all this and realizes how deeply Tasya loves him. Selim sits in front of the graves and lights incense sticks. Tasya arrives and tells him they must leave. He then says, "Because of this family's debt, I can't leave. So, you should listen to her, marry her, and be happy." But Tasya says, "I only love you. I can't belong to anyone else, you crazy girl." That night, while Tasya is in her room, she sees a butterfly clip. Suddenly, she hears the sound of a song. Following the sound, she finds Mahua hanging upside down. She shows Tasya a vision or a thought. What happened to her that led to her death? Then Tasya sees that Mahua and her friend were about to get married, deeply in love. Her friend had given her the butterfly clip and told her to wear it on their wedding day. On the day of their wedding, some soldiers arrived because they were against them. The man was Chinese, and they didn't want an Indonesian woman to marry a Chinese man. However, the wedding had already taken place, so they killed everyone, including the groom. He killed Mahua. She was devastated by the loss of her husband. She cried profusely remembering him. She didn't want to live, so she took out a butterfly clip and slit her throat, killing herself instantly. Tasya was deeply shocked and saddened by this. She immediately took the clip and was about to slit her throat, but Selim arrived and stopped her. She explained to him how she had seen, in a vision, what had happened to Mahua and her husband, leading to their deaths. Just then, Tasya's friend brought a priest, who said they needed to perform a ritual to comfort the spirit. The spirit was searching for its lost love, her husband. Therefore, a virgin would have to marry her, meaning her corpse. And someone would also have to go into the spirit world to find her lost love. When their souls were together, they would see their corpses. In this way, we will perform a proper funeral for both of them, so that their souls may find eternal peace and never return. Tasya is now ready to enter the spirit world. The priest takes her to another room. He gives her a matchbox and a piece of paper with a spell written on it. He tells her that when she finds Mahua's husband's spirit, burn it in front of him. This will ensure his spirit joins her. Meanwhile, Selim and the photographer begin digging Mahua's grave. Selim tells her, "You're constantly coming between me and Tasya. Change your habits, understand? Otherwise, it won't be good for you." Hearing this, the photographer becomes enraged. He strikes Selim, knocking him unconscious. Then he throws him back into the grave. Meanwhile, the priestess sent Tasya into the spirit world, where she sees numerous spirits before her. That's why she began calling out to Mahua's husband's spirit. When Tasya's friend came out, she saw Selim lying unconscious. She immediately woke Selim and he went inside, where the photographer was. Selim hit him on the head, causing him to bleed and fall unconscious. Tasya finds the spirit of Mahua's husband. She burns the paper with the spell in it in front of him, and he agrees to come with her. When she regains consciousness, she sees Priest lying dead there, horrified. When she enters the room, she finds Selim, who had seated the photographer next to Mahua's corpse. His plan was to get them married so that Mahua's spirit would be gone forever. But the photographer gets up and attacks Selim. He begins strangling him, killing him instantly. When he moves forward, he sees Tasya, who falls face down in front of him, vomited. He is shocked by the sight. But we know that after Selim's death, Tasya also died. Mahua possessed her. Then, Tasya attacks her savagely, killing her on the spot. Just then, Tasya's friend arrives with the police. She sees the photographer's body lying next to Mahua's. This means the ritual has been completed. Then we see the butterflies, the of Selim and Tasya. Then we also see the two butterflies, possessed by the spirits of Mahua and her husband. They leave for the city to create their own world, reuniting after so many years of death and are overjoyed. Apparently, their unfulfilled love, which had been fulfilled, was only possible through Selim and Tasya's sacrifice. And the movie ends with this.